Welcome to Revelation 19. First, verse 1 reveals that the voice of an angel proclaimed God's glory. This voice came down from heaven and was heard around the world. Verse 2 then reveals a great multitude praising God, saying his judgments are true and just. They also thank God for his mercy, which he has shown throughout the ages. Verse 3 then mentions that the 4 living creatures join in the praises of God. These creatures are symbolic of the 4 evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and the 4 major characteristics of God: mercy, justice, holiness, and truth. Next, verse 4 reveals that all of heaven was full of praises and glory to the Lord, saying his name is worthy to be praised. Everyone bowed before him, triumphant in their willingness to be joined to him. Verse 5 then speaks of a white horse ridden by a figure known as the faithful and true. This figure is symbolic of Jesus Christ, who came to bring justice and judgment upon the unrighteous. In verse 6 we read that he had eyes like blazing fire and upon his head were many crowns. He was dressed in a robe dipped in blood, showing that he was ready to bring about the judgments predicted by the prophets of old. Verse 8 then mentions an angel proclaiming that Jesus Christ has been given power over all nations and people. This shows that in the end times, Jesus will rule supreme over all the world. The rest of the chapter focuses on a great battle between the forces of good and evil. In verses 15 to 16 we read of a great sword that proceeds out of his mouth and is used to defeat the enemies of God. The chapter ends with heaven declaring its praise for the victory over evil. Verses 17 to 21. This passage depicts a climactic battle between good and evil forces. The angel calls upon the birds to assemble for a great feast, symbolizing the judgment of God upon the wicked. The flesh of kings, commanders, mighty men, and all people, regardless of their status, will be consumed. The vision continues as the beast, representing evil, and the kings of the earth gather their armies to wage war against the one who sits on the horse, often interpreted as Jesus Christ, and his army. However, the beast and the false prophet, who deceived people with miraculous signs, are captured and thrown alive into the lake of fire, symbolizing their ultimate punishment and destruction. The remaining forces of evil are killed by the sword that comes from the mouth of the one who sits on the horse. This signifies the complete victory of righteousness and the defeat of evil. The birds are filled with the flesh of those who are slain, representing the completeness and finality of God's judgment. Hopefully you have gained an understanding of how God's ultimate plan will be carried out in the end times. May you go forth with this knowledge and serve him faithfully. The end times can be a difficult and confusing topic if you don't understand what the Bible teaches. Thankfully, God has provided us with the book of Revelation to give us a glimpse of what is to come. Let us be encouraged by the promise of a brighter future and use it to motivate us to live as faithfully as we can in the present. Let us seek God's guidance and begin to prepare our hearts for the great and glorious day that is coming. Let us strive to bring as many people as possible to salvation, so that they can also be part of this wonderful plan that our loving Father has for humanity. Amen.